The Pod Bay Door, a Las Vegas podcast. Apparently, we as a state have offered out the opinion that maybe California visitors should stay home for a while.
Yeah.
When we hit fall, I think we're going to see new and bigger difficulties for our town. And we're going to need some help from Washington, D.C. Okay, John.
Yeah.
We've been accused of being negative.
Oh, you and me both for the Vegas?
As a general podcast.
Yeah.
I say we're truthful, but some folks say nicely that we're negative.
Yeah.
However, they say at the same time, the negative information has helped them on trips and helped them make decisions, especially now that it's such a strange time.
Yeah.
So, in response to that, I have put together something that is doubly negative. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
No, I have found we're going to talk about some of the very negative things that are happening in Vegas, but then we'll end with what's positive.
Yeah.
What's open, what's positive, what's happening. There's some cool things. But we'll and cool things within a very strange time. So some of these things are just getting going.
Yeah, some things do smell worse than cow shit.
You're right.
Exactly. That's kind of it was interesting. I just saw that Japan, not just Tokyo, but Japan recorded their highest COVID-19 positive results in a single day so far, and yesterday was 1,200. Now, just to keep this in comparison, now that's Japan. It's 100 million people, and that's also including those on military bases. That's where most of them are.
Yes.
Most of the outbreak in Japan was in Okinawa.
Okay.
Surprisingly, but by comparison, like I said, they had 1,200. We had 870 in Clark County alone yesterday.
Yeah,
that was just yesterday. So.
Right. Well,
end of July.
Yeah, it's gosh, it's a strange time. So Las Vegas, people always ask me, what's Las Vegas like in this summer? Well, right now it's not like Las Vegas at all, with one exception. It is oppressively hot. Today,
110, I think, Fahrenheit.
Oh no, today 114.
Oh, 114.
114 by about 3 p.m. It'll be 114.
Right.
I'm originally from Phoenix, Arizona. They're 116.
Yeah, it's always hotter. You ever need to see this? There's the silver lining.
Right.
See, we're not being negative. It's 114 here.
No,
but it's cooler than it is in Phoenix.
Yeah, and so what is it like in the summer? You have to be extremely careful if you're not from here or from Phoenix or Death Valley, or if you're not from the surface of the sun, because it is at 100. From 99 to 100, people, there's a difference. You're like, oh, okay, that's pretty hot. From 100 to 110, you start to feel a little bit of a sting. And you think to yourself, well, Lord, a couple of degrees above 110, that should make a difference. Not true. Every degree after 110 is a significant difference.
Yeah.
And you can, in fact, you can test it. Next time you're here during the summer, go into a casino with the wonderful air conditioning blasting and all the wonderful things, get a nice drink, step outside, and then step back in and wait for it to go up a degree, and then step back out. You'll see a difference.
Yeah.
So 114 is a dangerous temperature for visitors, especially those wacky Germans, because it can cause almost immediate problems, especially if you're dehydrated. I'm back to work, thankfully. I was with my friends and colleagues over at the Cosmo, and as I got there, when I drove in, there was somebody that I'm guessing, but they were red-faced, and the rest of them was dead white. And they were sprawled out on the floor or on the ground, and 2 officers were assisting them, and they had compresses on her head and so on and so forth. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah, exactly.
And you get used to it after a while. I mean, I work out even in my garage.
Yeah.
And when I first got here, I used to have a fan on or have to come inside because it was air conditioned. Not anymore.
Yeah.
I'm used to it. Now it works the other way too, is that when I do leave and go someplace that's cooler, which is like every other place in the country except for Phoenix,
right,
or maybe in some places in Texas, it seems really cold to me.
Yes.
And I say, Jesus, what is it? What's 85? Right. It's 80. I think, well, when you've been in 105 and you're used to that, because that's the average. The average for this time of year in Las Vegas is 105. Yeah. So we do have days that it's higher and a couple of days that it might be lower. And we usually find, we had a heat wave a couple of weeks ago where it did hit 115.
Yes.
And then it was back down again. And by down, we mean, it was 102.
Now, I've always said that I will take this. This is a very strange time again in Vegas because we've had no rainfall. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to have a humidity roll in, and it's not happened.
Yeah.
Now I'll take the dry heat
all the time,
every day, twice on Sunday.
Yeah. It's, to me, it doesn't bother me at all.
No,
the heat.
No. When the monsoons come, and what do they call them? The haboobs.
Yeah. And we don't even get those.
We really don't get the haboobs. It's just Arizona.
Phoenix does it. Arizona gets it. We get tailwinds of it somehow.
My friend in Phoenix, I always get the haboob text.
Yeah.
So, but all right, John. What are some of the bad things that have been happening recently to Vegas? Well, our unemployment department, it's an acronym, DETR, we call it DETR. They continue to make mistakes. The CARES Act, $600 unemployment that goes to both gig workers and standard unemployment, didn't show up on the final week. This is the final week of it. July 25th was the last one. And it didn't show up in people's checks. And they got right on the television and said it was a computer error. Yeah. And so we have that kind of thing happening, but that's nationwide, of course.
Well, you know what? I saw a statistic yesterday here in Nevada. During the Great Recession,
yes,
2008, we lost 190,000 jobs in 2.5 years.
Right.
All right. Since COVID-19, basically since March. Here we are, end of July. So we'll just say 6 months.
Yep.
Yeah. 270,000 jobs.
Yeah.
Down the shitter. And other places like the Palazzo are now only open on the weekend.
Yes.
Right. And a lot of that just has to do with we don't have any business.
And I can't look at that as a negative thing, or I can't look negatively at the Sands and the Venetian execs. That's a solid decision, in my opinion. They're not closing it completely down. They still have staff that have to run it and keep it up.
Yeah, I assume the Venetian's still open.
Venetian is still open, absolutely, yeah. But and many of the hotels are open and functioning properly, minus a few things, of course, that we'll discuss. But the big news, and you brought this up to me a day ago, and I saw it as well, is CES, Consumer Electronics Show. Is going virtual, which means they're not coming here. It's confirmed 170,000 last year.
Yeah.
And it is not coming. Also just confirmed, our favorite, our buddies over there at
the Freakling Brothers
at JCK.
Oh, JCK too.
JCK is going virtual as well.
Oh, just for 2021.
Yes. Well, everybody's saying next. So the next one is virtual. The next one we're coming to Vegas. So that was approximately 72,000 last year.
Yeah.
It's been going down and down. JCK is, if folks don't know, JCK stands for the Jeweler's Circular Keystone. It used to be the name of their magazine.
No, we call them just a pain in the ass.
Pain in the ass, yeah. And it's the largest jewelry convention on the planet, going virtual. So, I mean, we've lost two big ones. And the International Air Transportation Association just came out with a very disturbing statistic, and they said we will not see the numbers return to pre-virus numbers as far as airline travel to Las Vegas until 2024.
Ooh.
Yeah. So. And then the Las Vegas Convention Authority, they're sort of reeling and spinning in their little hole over there. 45,000 people are in limbo at our convention facility. facilities, including Mandalay Bay, which is a beautiful one as well.
Yeah.
It's frightening. It's frightening for the town. And last year we had 6.6 million conventioneers.
Yeah.
We're not having that again.
No. I mean, there's other ones. I mean, we joke about World of Concrete.
Yeah.
But that's like 180,000 people. That's a big one.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, we do joke about it. And it's kind of silly to think, but you have to dive deeper into these industries.
Yeah.
There are the vehicle makers. There's the wheel makers for the vehicle makers. It just goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
And then all the people that service we have all the entertainment and talent that service the booths and the hosts and the speakers, and it's an unbelievable machine that runs here, and that runs well when it runs, but it's completely stopped.
Yeah.
And so that's a very, very negative thing. Probably that's why I opened with it. It's the most negative thing.
Yeah. Now, also saw that the Freakling brothers are going to cancel this year. They always have the Halloween.
Yes.
That's more for the locals.
I know.
And the tomorrow is supposed to be the Raiders Stadium, Allegiant.
Yes.
Is it Allegiant Stadium?
Yes.
Will be finished tomorrow.
Yes, it's beautiful.
And Garth
Empty.
Brooks was supposed to open it.
Yeah.
Now, tell you how full of shit I am. And I said, God, that's who they got? No way he's going to sell that out. He sold it out in 2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I mean, I'm not a country western fan, but still, I mean, just a guy playing a guitar in a huge stadium, I just can't see it. But anyhow, that he was supposed to play August 22nd, something like that.
Yeah.
And that's been postponed until February. End of February. So
no, he's a powerhouse still.
I was surprised. I mean, this long. I mean, remember, I saw him at the Venetian. I mean, in the back of the house,
right? Because
he was performing for a private group.
Yeah.
Back when I worked there. So that goes back to the early 2000s. So
yeah. But so continuing, the bars are still closed.
Yeah.
They're closed for at least another week, so says our
governor,
Mr. Sisolak.
Yeah, he fucked up, as it turns out. I think we opened too soon.
Oh, we did. We did.
Yeah. And I think he got pressure from a lot of, like other states.
Yeah, and maybe he should have pushed through. I mean, he should have owned it. We opened up too soon, but let's push through. Let's do this. Let's do that. But the bars are still closed, sort of. There are some casino bars that are throwing some drinks out there, but I'm not quite sure of the relationship to Sisolak's order, our governor's order,
I think
that.
Wasn't his order that bars that did not serve food had to close?
Yes.
So if you have a restaurant and you have a bar with the restaurant, that's okay. Or if they serve, the happy hour sort of stuff, I guess that's okay.
There was an issue with places like, for example, the -5 bar.
Yeah.
And that's the one where you go in and it's a frozen ice bar. They take exception. They would like an exception to that rule, because technically speaking, they should be closed. They should not be able to serve.
Yeah.
But they are and are going to. However, the bar rule is supposed to lapse in the next week. But nobody's going to commit to that. Like you said, he made an error, and I think he wants to stop making errors. But he just needs to push through. People ask me all the time. They call me, they text me, they email me through the podcast and personally. Are you really, is it really mandatory masks? Yes, it is really mandatory masks in public facilities, and yes, including gas stations. That irritates me. If you're gonna just wear the mask. I was getting gas today at Sam's Club, of all things, and I was the only one wearing a mask. And I'm like, oh, come on, folks, just wear the mask. I know that it's far away, the pumps are far away from each other, but just wear the mask, because it'll move us quicker into a better time.
Because you don't know who was just pumping gas right before you got there.
Exactly.
They could have sneezed.
Yeah.
On the as they're paying their charge, and they could have sneezed all over it, and then you're putting your fingers on it.
Yeah. Again, if you look at if you look at a corporation that is doing it right and they're fluid in their decision making, again, I always go to this, but, and people are I'm going to probably get nasty emails on this one, but Disney World is fluid, making changes as they see necessary, spending the money where they can spend the money and should spend the money. They just made a new mask policy. You can't wear the gator ones, the gator neck deals.
Oh, okay.
You can't wear ones that have no ear straps where it can pop off. You can't wear ones with valves. You know that you know.
Because I could just see people on a roller coaster, even the ones at Disneyland are pretty tame compared to the ones at Magic Mountain.
True.
All but I can just imagine it. People there going, it goes into a dive and all these masks go flying.
Right. Now, an unofficial negative that came out of again the governor's office is that we as a state have offered out the opinion that maybe California visitors should stay home for a while.
Yeah.
We haven't made a rule about that, but it came out a couple of days ago. It was in the fold on page 3. They said, California, why don't you stay where you are for a little while?
Yeah. Well, when things first started to open up, and we were talking about this, and people weren't wearing masks and they weren't being careful, and I said, I likened it to if you have some kind of an infection and you get an antibiotic, and they always tell you take the whole course, 2 weeks, whatever it is. Because even if the symptoms go away, it doesn't mean that the bacteria, the infection could still be there, and then it'll come back. And this was the same thing. Just because they opened things up didn't mean it was necessarily safe to go back in the water.
Right.
You got to go in there a little at a time.
Absolutely.
And even now, I mean, Mandalay Bay opened. They opened the Bally's. I think Bally's in the last couple of weeks.
I have that right there.
I think the Tropicana is supposed to open.
It is, but that's my next thing. Unfortunately, Tropicana is now officially on the sales block.
Oh, it is. They're going to sell it.
Yes, and they are also involved in the next thing I was going to bring up, where we have a massive number of furloughs now that are unpaid and being released.
Yeah.
MGM, Wynn, Circus, Tropicana, Nellis Cab Company. I found interesting. And all of them have either outright released their people or put them on permanent furlough unpaid. Yeah. Now, that being said, the positive things, because it's related, the Venetian has extended their payments to furloughed individuals through October. And they're the only ones currently. So,
good for them. I mean, hey, I had my complaints here, but I'm not going to knock them on that.
Right. Well, at the same time, Sheldon Adelson I think he's trying to bid on is it a basketball team?
Oh, that's right. He is. No, the New York Mets.
Oh, the Mets. That's right.
Mets, baseball.
The Mets. That's right.
Yeah.
So, he's doing fine.
Yeah, I know the Sands, they lost $1 billion in revenue or something because, again, they don't have conventions, they don't have hotels.
Right.
But I also know, I mean, they say we're just talking about now, everybody stay home and this thing we'll get over it. Mm-hmm. And then things will come back. We know that, okay, we don't get CES in 2021, but we can count on 2022. Therefore, 2022 should be better than 2021. Anything can be better than that. You hit rock bottom.
Right.
So, there's that to look forward to. And then there's going to be, as you said, if air travel doesn't even come up to 2024, then it's going to be, it'll be cheaper to fly out here when things do start to return to normal. And
gosh, I hope so. I hope the airlines, maybe take this slap in the face and are better to their customers. They give them more discounts to get them on the planes.
Yeah.
Because all that was saying is that we're not going to be to pre-virus numbers until 2024.
Yeah.
We may be extremely low all the way through, until the airlines realize, hey, we got to be better to these folks.
Yeah.
The cruise industry just announced that it's a no-go through November.
Yeah.
And it's going to go until 2021. They're just playing the hopscotch game.
Yeah.
And Norwegian, for example, I sort of have a background with them in traveling with them. They're pretty much on their last chance in their liquidity and their background.
Yeah.
So it's everybody's suffering. So it's very strange, very strange. So, okay, that's the negatives.
Yeah.
Let's talk
about free
about
parking's back though.
Free parking is back. Yeah. I parked for free. I always park for free when I work, but I mean, I parked at Cosmo. It is free for absolutely. I talked about the Venetian. They're paying through. So SEMA is adamant that they're still coming. So the basically it's the automotive technical show.
And when are they coming?
I'll have to look that up, John. I'm not quite sure, but they actually, if you want to look that up, I'll keep going with the positive list. Vdara at City Center just opened again, and if you want a spectacular pool area, which will be open. They absolutely say they're going to be open. The Vdara pool is very notable. It's not the typical resort pool where it's just concrete and chairs and whatnot. It's not quite the Mandalay Bay, but it is truly a beautiful pool and a wonderful experience. As you said, Bally's is open. Bally's is trying. Bally's Paris combo is trying. I'm not quite sure how I feel about Bally's. They've sort of been the redheaded stepkid of Flamingo and Las Vegas.
They're the wallflower.
Yeah.
There's like, hey, was Julie at the party? Yeah, she was there. She was. I didn't see her. No, she was there. Somebody like that. Or Keith, was Keith there? Yeah, he was there the whole time. Right. Oh, I didn't see him. Well, do you ever see the guy?
Right.
November 3rd through 6th.
November 3rd. And right now, SEMA says it's a go. So good for them. I hope that's the case.
Yeah.
I hope there's some logistics that can be created that makes it safe and enjoyable, because that's a fun one.
Yeah,
that's a fun one. I've been to that several times, both as a patron and as a worker. So yeah, back to Bally's. It had Jubilee. That's gone now.
Yeah,
great showgirl show. Pretty good restaurants. They're trying. They're trying out some new things.
Yeah.
I think they've gotten off that millennial curve, and they're going back to some staple foods.
Yeah.
They probably about 10 years ago they've restructured and got the bridge and the neon bridge system down so that people could get right to them. It was very difficult to get there. And parking was a pain, and it was like you said, it was a perfect analogy about the girl that was at the party nobody knew.
Yeah. Or they used to make fun of Nevada being basically a toilet stop on the way to California, right?
Yeah.
Before that, if you don't go to Las Vegas or Reno area, there's just nothing in the state.
Right.
So they used to kind of just call it the rest stop or whatever. So yeah, Bally's is that way because there is that tunnel you can get to the Paris. So
right.
It's just kind of like it's just a shortcut to the Paris. That's what Bally's is, but it was pretty cheap and it has a good location.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have any real personality.
No, and they had a notable steakhouse. I'd say 4th or 5th down the line of the ones I used to recommend. But okay,
they used to have good show. George Carlin was there.
Oh yeah,
lot.
Yeah, and of course that was the old MGM. It has an amazing past, with the fire and the rebuild and everything else. And it's Flamingo and Las Vegas Boulevard. How can you, And if people don't know where it is, it's Flamingo Las Vegas Boulevard. It's across from Caesars. It's across from the Cromwell. It's a great corner.
It is a great corner.
It's also across from Batista's Hole in the Wall.
Oh, yes.
If
the
you want
Italian
some
restaurant.
really good, just a great Italian restaurant. Okay, John. Adults only casino. Hotel casino. What do you think?
Circa? I like the idea.
Yeah, I do too.
It's a throwback. It's downtown.
Yep.
I don't know if he's going to make it go. This is not a good time to be opening it, but
you can't help it. It was a tough one.
Yeah.
They are opening the first 5 floors October 28th of this year.
They're supposed to have a huge sports book.
Huge sports book, largest in town.
Yeah.
And it has a 78 million pixel high definition screen where you can enjoy the sports book watching games on that particular screen on 3 different levels of the hotel.
Yeah, cool.
Pretty cool. It has what's called the Stadium Swim pool, which they've built to be a sort of an entertainment complex down there. Now, again, it's downtown. It's officially downtown. So I'm very, very curious because everything else has failed.
Downtown,
to bring downtown up to what people think it should be. Now, this, like you said, it's taking a different tack. It's going with old school. Yeah. No kids. Yay. You had me right there.
Yeah.
They have a mascot, if you will, Vegas Vicky.
Yeah.
They're actually have gotten the original Vegas Vicky neon sign.
Good.
And she's going to be in there, and they've sort of paying homage to them. Vic won't be there. He's still stranded at the boneyard.
He got me too'd.
Yeah, that's right. He got me too'd. Something with the rope. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But Vegas Vicky will be there. It's an old school theme.
Yeah.
Sinatra style old school, which I'm thrilled about.
Yeah.
They have 777 rooms. Nice touch.
Yep.
And the rooms, each one apparently, there are 4 to 5 different decorative styles. They're all vintage rooms. I wish them the absolute best.
Yeah,
I really do.
I hope they do well.
Because I have always said that I wish Vegas would go back to a version of old school. You know, you can't go back to old school. Frank's dead.
Yeah, Frank's dead.
So we gotta make our own new old school.
Yeah.
But yeah, the minute it was announced with no kids, oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're out at the pool and you're having drinks and you want to look at the girls.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And I don't want to say, look at me, mommy.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah. Yeah. Little snot boxes.
Yeah,
They get to stay at
Holiday
home.
Inn.
Right.
Yeah, leave me alone. Yeah.
Now, one thing that hasn't really shut down, which is interesting, with the exception of the bars around there, but people have asked me, what is there to do?
Look at hot girls.
Look at hot girls.
I guess some guys too. I don't, but I know the women out there. I'm trying to be equitable.
Chinatown is apparently functioning very well.
Good. There you go.
Yeah, they have very interesting restaurants. The Golden Tiki Lounge is there. The lounge is open, I believe, only for food, which is. The Golden Tiki actually doesn't serve food, but there's a Chinese restaurant right next to it that will deliver food next door.
Oh, okay.
And that's the way you can eat there. So
now,
the Golden...
I'm just going to suggest this.
Yes.
Just throwing this out there. We have a new hotel supposed to open next year, right? The Asian theme one.
Yeah, Hong Kong theme, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
I was just thinking maybe what they need to have, like they're going to have a replica of the Great Wall. How about a wet market?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
And then you can have like an exhibit of
the
bat viruses.
The viruses of the virus museum. Yeah. You don't think Vegas would do that? We'll absolutely do that.
Absolutely.
Speaking of museums, it is not open, but I found something interesting. There is a haunted museum, Zach Bagan, I think it's Bagan or Bagan.
Yeah.
Ghost Adventures.
He had a couple of things around here with that. Didn't he do one of the Saw movies or something like that? He had something to do with it.
I don't know his background. Yeah, look that up. But the museum itself apparently is quite amazing, haunted in its own right. It was closed, of course, because of the virus, because it's a group situation that you can't really have that. And they would give tours, but they always said how haunted it was. So they decided to make a television show.
Oh, he's the host of Ghost Adventures.
Ghost Adventures, yes, exactly. And it's on the Travel Channel.
Yeah.
And this particular one that focuses on the Vegas Museum is called Ghost Adventures Quarantine.
Yeah.
Look for it on the Travel Channel. Came out in June, actually. It was a while back. But I wasn't aware of that. But Zach Bagan, it's Bagan. And Zach, Z-A-K.
Now, one of the things we had planned to do late last year, and we didn't do it, and we were going to talk about on this show, was they had started a seance, a real seance, not a fake seance. I mean, they're all fake, but you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like staged.
Right.
In the Apache Hotel, which is a real hotel downtown.
Okay.
It was part of Binion's, and they actually had a secret room, which wasn't in the blueprints, where they believed people were murdered, because, hey, cheating your cards, whatever.
Sure.
Back there. And they had a very small hotel at that time, and it got boarded up. But anyhow, it was reputed to be haunted.
Oh, okay.
So they reopened the hotel, and they started to have seances in that room, in the secret room.
Right.
And now the only thing was it wasn't ADA compliant, because of the way the hotel was. You had to be able to go up a flight of stairs. So if you're in a wheelchair or you have, some physical difficulties with a walker cane, you probably can't go.
Yeah.
But we were going to do that. It was like $120. I was talking to the guy about that, but they were saying no. He said it's not. We're not going to have a spook show. It's not a spook show.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to have fake, ectoplasm or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
CGI ghosts. It's if it's real or not. But there was a special on the Travel Channel on the Ghost Adventures.
Yeah.
And you can even watch it on YouTube because that's where I saw it.
Okay.
On that hotel, the Apache.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go look that up.
Great. Absolutely. Yeah. So this is going to be sort of the rapid fire round. People are always asking me what's open, what's not open. All right, this is the latest list, and I'm sorry if I go too quickly, but we'll get through this. Aria Delano Mandalay Bay started welcoming guests. Will start welcoming guests on July 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Catch, Jean Georges Steakhouse, Salt and Ivy will all be open. And the Shark Reef Aquarium, and they say several bars will be open as well during the July time. Nobu over at Caesar's Palace will reopen July 2nd. Hugely popular. Day clubs, pools, and everything else. Liquid and Wet Republic are going to be open on from Thursdays to Sundays, starting on the 1st. Reservations are required for that, which is a sort of new. You used to have to make reservations for cabanas and bottle service, but the Luxor and the Mandalay Place shops are going to be open. And this is the big one. This is the one I got the most emails on, which is really strange. Yes, HyperX Esports Arena is going to reopen.
Oh,
yeah.
All right.
So we'll see. And Diablo's Cantina and the Pyramid Cafe, they will also be open. We talked about -5. They're going to open once they get some clarification on the bar thing. And if you're looking for the A-5, the Skywalk between Luxor and Mandalay Bay is the easiest way to find that. Paris is already open, so Bally's actually was behind Paris in opening. Paris and Westgate, they opened mid-June. They kind of got hit real quick with the bar thing, but they are definitely open. Gordon Ramsay Steak is open. Eiffel Tower Restaurant, of course, is open. And the Bellagio fountains are running, but unfortunately they had to stop again because we had sort of a
guy drowned.
Oh, yeah.
Geez.
Well, he wasn't quite stable. It was a very strange story. He approached a woman and her guests watching the Bellagio fountains, or at least watching the lake, and said some unintelligible things, and then got in, swam to the middle, and realized it's far deeper than he thought, and then began to realize.
How deep is it?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. But deep enough to cause him.
Yeah, he went under. Couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, he and a gentleman dove in. Good for him, to get him. Then became in trouble himself, and by that time the people had come. The first responders got the guy, the potential rescuer out. The other gentleman didn't make it. So the Bellagio, I believe the fountains are still not running currently, but they'll be back up. This surprised me. The buffet at the Wynn is open, but
yeah, with reservations.
With reservations,
quite literally,
it's seated and served.
Yeah. That seems weird. That was always the fun of the buffet.
Right.
I would pick some of that and some of that.
Yeah,
but I guess you have to tick off parts of a menu and then they bring it to you. Kind of almost like tapas.
Yeah, and that's fine. Good for them. Yeah. Better than shuttering the whole thing. Yeah. But Wynn's not doing too well, I would say. But buffets in general are
they're not closed.
no-go.
And then other hotels off strip like Texas Station and then the Dump Pier, the Fiesta Henderson are closed until July of next year.
Right. Yeah.
Spago's,
of course, after it moved to Bellagio, it's lakeside at the Bellagio. It's open. Reservations 5 to 10 Fridays through Tuesdays.
Yeah. Oh, and also the Caesars sold. They're now part of the Eldorado group, but they're going to be called Caesars.
Yeah. That Eldorado group, they're hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see what they do with it. I don't know. Sahara's back open. Sahara opened up with gaming. They're not really concentrating on much else. Although gaming revenue went up in June.
That is still the SLS. Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they went back to naming it, calling it the Sahara.
Or just Sahara.
Just Sahara.
I don't believe there's a the.
No, just Sahara.
Yeah. Oscars.
Oh, of course. Well, hey, the husband of the great mayor.
Yes, old Oscar Goodman. His namesake steakhouse is open from Thursday through Sunday. Reservations, of course, and of course downtown the Plaza and hotel at the very end of the downtown strip location. It's open. Great views of the Fremont Street Experience.
Yeah.
They're struggling, but they're good for them. They're doing great. Top Golf, of course, is open. Planet Hollywood, the Miracle Mile shops are open. The Link remains closed. The casino will be up and running, and soon will be several bars and restaurants. But I think they're having difficulty dealing with that bar definition. Plus, they had reached some difficulties prior to the virus. They were not doing very well.
Who's that again?
The Link.
Oh, the Link.
Yeah,
is
Link.
that? Yeah. I guess not.
A favorite of mine, Hash House, a go-go, is back open 8 to 2 daily.
With their carb bomb.
Yes, the carb bomb.
Yeah.
But they have a watermelon lemonade that I go back for. Guy Fieri's Vegas Kitchen and Bar skirted some issues. They've had a lot of issues.
Yeah. But Guy Fieri has some issues.
Yeah, he does. But they are back open. High Roller Observation Wheel at the Link Promenade. If people misunderstand, the Link is actually the hotel casino.
Yeah.
Link Promenade is the shopping area and food.
Yeah.
And
the Ferris wheel really is what it is.
Yeah. High Roller. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's slow, but it gets you a nice view if you want to take pictures.
Yeah, it's a beautiful view.
And if you really want to get your money's worth, I think on some type of attraction. I mean, it lasts like a half an hour.
35 minutes.
Yeah, it's not like, you're in and out. It's like, Jesus, that was the fastest $10 I ever spent.
Right. But they open 10 passenger limit down from 40, which is good.
Well, when I was in there, I had my own car to myself. I mean, we had like 3 of us.
Yeah.
Back then, it go in the day depends on when you go, but yeah, I know in the evening they had alcohol service. Maybe I don't know if they still do because of this, but
yeah,
anyway, still might. But anyhow, that was always, like I said, if you want to get a nice view of say you've done it. I think it's one of the biggest in the country.
Yes. Now I will end the what's open list. It's many other things are open. So take a look. Go to you can probably check out Vegas.com if you can get through all the ads and what's on magazine there.com. They will tell you exactly what's open when and it'll give you a good list.
No shows.
No shows, not yet.
No.
With the exception of like loungy styles, for example, I saw Big Elvis, Pete Valley, returned to Harrah's. He's a very popular, the Big Elvis. It's kind of fat Elvis.
Yeah.
We don't say that anymore. But I will end with the Mob Museum downtown. Right next to the Downtown Grand is open. A little place in my heart for the Mob Museum. They're fantastic. If you get a chance, please go visit that place. It's fantastic. Okay, John.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. A couple questions.
Yep.
Last episode, last show, you said we both agreed not a great place to be right now.
Yeah.
It's gotten better.
Yeah.
Where are you now? You said January. You said January. So when should a new visitor, never been here, come to Vegas now?
Well, I would say honestly, never been here this spring.
Spring of 21.
Yeah, 2021. Only because I think even now, I mean, geez, we're already getting into August.
Yeah.
Things are getting worse. I mean, they spiked again. They're going to go down.
Yeah.
But if you're going to come here, and we already know that CES is canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you would come here, I mean, unless you're actually going to that. But,
sure.
It'll give, I think, more things chance to open. It'll be warmer.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't get frigid cold here, but we'll get down to freezing.
Okay.
So I think the weather might be nicer in the early spring.
Okay.
There are things, as we know, that are outside of the strip.
Mm-hmm.
There's Red Rock and Valley of Fire, and those are more enjoyable, I think, come March, April.
Mm-hmm. So. Okay. How about the inveterate Las Vegas visitor? the guy, the people who know the ins and outs, like our buddy Chris over there at Faces and Aces.
Oh, Chris can come anytime.
Yeah,
no, really,
he's from California though.
He's from California. I don't know about you people.
We've asked Chris to stay home.
Yes. Well, to me, it's what is it that guest likes to do?
Okay.
If you come here, hey, I love the shows.
Yeah.
Well, don't come right now because there aren't any. Right? If you say I don't care about the shows. I like the restaurants as long as the ones that you like are open.
Yes.
Right? Or I like looking at the hotels. You can always look at them from the outside or whatever, or go inside.
Well,
the ones we know are open. Yeah. I don't think they're coming here to see Bally's.
Yeah.
But some of the other ones, they'll be open.
Right.
If you come to gamble, we know the casinos are open, at least some of them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Sure.
So if those are the things that you like to do, and those the reasons you come to Las Vegas, if those things are open, yeah, I guess right now it's really hot.
Yeah.
So I'd say come in the fall.
Okay.
If you want, we'll see how things are. I mean, I might reevaluate that, and of course, I'm hoping things get better here.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what
do you think?
Oh gosh. I think you can pick and choose and find your fun. If you've never been here, I hesitate to suggest that you come here now, because you're not going to see it see her in her grandeur.
Yeah.
It's a truncated, sort of half Vegas, not even half. So yes, I would wait for that reason alone, not because of virus scare. I would just wait because it's just not fun. As far as a gambler, sure, you can come here and gamble.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of reports recently, of people winning. We even had a large winner at the airport.
Yeah.
It's it may be the Las Vegas marketing machine putting those out there, but sure, you can win. Are they looser slots? Is it easier to win? No, of course not. And are the prices lower? Do you get discounts? Have we avoided, room taxes and all the fees involved? Resort fees?
Yeah.
Nah, not so much. Not so much. So you keep some of the unfortunate everyday Vegas things and you lose a lot of the others.
Yeah.
So no. But can fun be had? Yeah, you can schedule a great vacation, but you have to make sure that a couple of those days are touring around.
Yeah.
And that about the heat of the town. I always think about Vegas right now is like if you ever saw, Vin Diesel's movies, Riddick. When he was dropped off on the prison planet, and the sun was coming, and he was running for the cave. That's exactly what it's like here. When you dive into Caesars, think of Riddick. So it's a little bit difficult, but you can also plan on going to like a Mount Charleston and doing a hike. Mount Charleston is far cooler. You can do the Cathedral Ridge hike, which will give you a spectacular view of that area. Red Rock, Valley of Fire, still hot. It's very hot out there. Lake Las Vegas, you can have fun, but you have to.
That's good for 20 minutes.
Yeah, or it's a whole day, and you can rent boats and things like that. But
the other person I could recommend it to, if somebody were driving from, we'll just say St. Louis to California, and you're going to come by and say, "Gee, should we kind of go out of our way just because we're in the car, and spend the day in Las Vegas?" Sure. Because you can still do a lot of it. You can still see Valley of Fire and never get out of the car.
Sure.
Right? You can drive through it and that you can drive down the strip.
Yeah.
And at night, the lights are still on.
Yeah.
In fact, it'd be more enjoyable because there aren't as many people you have to worry about running out in front of your car.
Yeah.
Or maybe, not as much traffic. I'm sure it's still traffic. I was there a couple of weeks ago. I mean, you were just here. I imagine traffic's still pretty heavy on the strip. But they were doing some road construction too.
Uh-huh.
I think they're taking this opportunity to do that. So for those people, fine, But yeah, if you came here it's just like, we said the same thing about going to Disney World or Disneyland. If everything you wanted to see, you make a list of the top things. I really got to go on these rides at Disney World. If they were all closed, you probably you'd be disappointed.
Yes.
But if they closed everything that you didn't want to go on, the little kiddie rides, if that's, if you're an adult and or whatever, then it's not going to matter to you, right? You say, yeah, those things were closed, and the singing bears and the Mark Twain Island or whatever, all that stuff that
Country Bear Jamboree. John.
Yeah, that's what it is. Now, see, if they started playing black metal or something like that, they might get me over there in the Huck Finn Island.
Yeah.
Even when I was a kid, that was boring.
I don't think the Country Bears are going death metal. Okay. The most of our listeners are going to turn this off now, but I got to ask.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah.
November's coming.
Yeah.
Is Las Vegas, is Nevada going to go red again? Are we?
Oh, is it going to go red again?
What do you think? It's coming. I mean, we're looking down the barrel of November.
No, it's not going to go red.
No. You think really we're going to go Biden?
The state is. I mean, I don't think either person is qualified. Myself,
I have my problems.
Yeah, if you vote, all I'm going to say, I don't even know if they're up, but school board. I know you don't have any kids, but vote for Danielle Ford. She's dumb as a brick, but she's hot, right? I mean, you ever seen school board members? I look at, holy shit, what's she doing on the school board? Hey, may as well have a good looking one.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but yeah. Otherwise, I don't see it going. I don't see it going.
You see it being close?
No, because I'll tell you why. Once you get out of Las Vegas and Reno, all the people live here, and you get into if you look in terms of county, it'll be red. You look in the map, right? Look at all these the red. Yeah, and they've got 18 people voting in some of these counties,
right,
and 16 of them voted Republican. Fine,
yeah.
But you look in Las Vegas, and we're talking about millions.
Yeah.
Or Clark County, and it tends to go blue.
Right.
And the same with Reno. Now I think there are people who are conservative here who, to me, Joe Biden is a Republican because he is trying to appeal to people like Mitt Romney.
Yeah.
And to Republicans. And basically the Democrats have already said to those of us who really are on the left,
right.
Piss off. We don't care. This is who you have to vote for,
right?
Basically, so you will get a lot of people that say, "Well, lesser of two evils." And right now, the way Donald Trump has handled COVID-19 and the way he's handled Black Lives Matter and whatever, he's really alienated a lot of people.
Yeah.
So particularly with COVID-19, he said something the other day about in response to a question about Dr. Fauci. About, well, what do you think? Oh, he's fine, except, he keeps telling the governors to shut down and stuff. And of course, whenever he does that, my stocks take a hit.
Right.
Well, this whole reason where he keeps trying to downplay everything.
Right.
Is he doesn't give a shit if people get sick and die, as long as it's not him.
Now,
and so that his stocks don't take a hit. And the people who so he can go in with good job numbers.
Yes. Now, do you think Biden will be a friend to Vegas?
He's not going to be friend to me. I guess, like I said, Joe Biden is he's going to be the most mentally, if he wins, to me, he will be the most mentally incapable person since Ronald Reagan's second term.
Oh my.
Yeah. I think he's that far out to lunch.
Interesting.
And I think to me, gambling, want to put it on bet, if he's elected, will he make 4 years? Because I just think the decline of this guy, where he's almost incoherent at times when you hear some of the things. They try to mask things. What the hell are you talking about?
He does give the impression he's being propped up.
Yeah. He's okay on some of these commercials. We don't know how many times he's had to say that.
Right.
And I think Trump's approach with some of these moronic ads on TV about you're not safe in Joe Biden's. They're idiotic. They're not based in any type of fact because the people who want to defund the police are not supporting Joe Biden.
Right.
All right. Because Joe Biden is. The only way they do that is they're not against Trump, therefore they must be for Biden. Mm-hmm. No, and in fact, among young blacks, Joe Biden has the least popularity and the least enthusiasm of any president. Any Democrat who's ever run.
Yeah.
As long as they've been keeping that, right? I mean, he's got very low enthusiasm. The Trump supporters, on the other hand, are very enthusiastic as a rule.
Yeah.
But there's just not enough of them, I don't think. And then by appealing those ads, he's only appealing to his base, I think. I don't see him widening it.
Yeah.
Now, when he goes after Biden is showing him as a doddering fool, or those are, to me, I think would be a better approach for him to take.
See, my question is, as it regards Las Vegas, is that, we are a on top of the mount when it comes to freelance and gig workers.
Yeah.
And that our staffing of those people are going to be having difficulties well past November. So my question is, will that individual, Biden or Trump, be fighting for us in Congress to get the HEALING Act extended or increased? Are they going to help Las Vegas? The bosses aren't going to need help, especially like the El Dorado group. They're going to be fine. So I wonder if oddly, Trump is going to be a better partner to Vegas because he finds himself to be such a superior business person than Biden, who I've never heard him say anything that I could construe as helpful to the workers of Las Vegas. So I don't know. I think you're right. I don't know anything about Biden. I mean, Biden. I think he's a curmudgeon, combined with the potentiality of being not very deficient.
Yeah.
And I just don't know.
Well, I look at it and say, well, what the hell has this guy done? Okay, he spent 8 years. He was Barack Obama's lapdog. All right, and vice president doesn't really do much. Okay, what did he do? He fetched the morning newspaper off the lawn of the White House? Okay, he did that. What did he do before that? He makes a big deal about, I banned the bump stock.
Right.
Really, good for you. We still had 60 people killed here.
Yeah.
A lot of good it did.
Yeah.
I don't see anything that he's done that I could say, wow, that was impressive. And he's just been a big nothing.
His exposure here was limited, very limited. I don't think he's made a very good impression here. Yeah. So which is why I'm very curious to see if we stay red, if only because he hasn't really put some time in.
Yeah. Now, during the primary, of course, Bernie Sanders mopped the floor of them in this state.
Oh, yeah.
In my area where I'm at, there's a lot of older, this is upper middle class.
Right.
For Las Vegas. And when I went to the caucus, Joe Biden won the caucus in my precinct. Yeah. Because they were mostly old people. And Biden's base, that's the whole thing where I think where Trump's base has been eroded, is that both of them draw from the 65 and over, and Biden draws more than Trump. So that's where Trump has lost a lot of ground. Younger people aren't particularly enthused with either one, but I think they're so afraid of Trump that they will side with Biden. But even though they're very unenthusiastic about him, but his base even then was that Bernie, who was really older, he was drawing from the younger people. But it was real clear he didn't want to be president. Right. To me, it was. He didn't really run much of a campaign. So he might get some to go his way. But as now Donald Trump also, I think, and the same with Bernie back in 2016, both of them, when they ran, they both were given a good push by anti-Hillary people.
Oh, of course.
They didn't want Hillary.
Yeah.
Biden doesn't have that dirty laundry. He doesn't have that baggage that Hillary Clinton does. And a lot of Hillary Clinton's baggage is Bill's, that she just kind of inherits. So Biden doesn't have that. So that's not going to help Trump in those states where he won last. I mean, he only won Michigan by 10,000 votes. I mean, shit, we could fill that. That's just, we have, the T-Mobile can hold more than that. So that's all he won by. And he's behind by like 12 points. Now in that state, and he needs. I mean, he barely. You looked at it. Of course, Hillary had the more popular votes, but most of that came out of California. So and a lot of other states that almost always go red, like Texas. Yeah.
But see, we're going. We now have two major market sports teams. Yeah. That are going to be, wanting, especially Mark Davis, is wanting tax incentives. We have a huge film industry that can't seem to get their tax incentive programs, passed through. They're financially and economically, Las Vegas represents a very complex small city.
Yeah.
That puts out that cranks out a lot of money.
And then you look at a right-wing hawk who is very influential here, Sheldon Adelson.
Yes.
You know, who is the biggest Republican donor and contributor.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that. And so if Biden gets in, he's going to.
Now,
but they're all very much pro-business.
I don't. Yeah, of course.
They're not pro-labor. So
no, even Biden.
No, Biden's not pro-labor.
Yeah. Now, Adelson, I don't think he's come out for either, has he?
Well,
not
he
really.
gave a lot of money to Trump.
He did
in the past. Yeah.
Okay, in the past though, but this.
Well, I think we'll see, but I don't think they've because it's still a little early, right? For that. I mean, we're down to like 98 days,
98 days,
something like that.
Huh.
You know, so we'll see what happens. I mean, things can happen. It turned on a dime.
It did
when first with COVID-19 and then with George Floyd and I think Trump's responses to that, and it's continued. That's where Trump starts to sound really weird when he starts talking about these horseshit sort of treatments.
Yeah.
About disinfectants and whatever. You kind of think he didn't really say that. Oh no, he said it. No. Donald Trump does not say anything tongue in cheek. No, that's not his style.
Not really.
No. Yeah. He just comes out and says, because he's very true. That's the thing about Trump. I look at him and say, sometimes it's, Jesus, that was brutally honest. What he said about, I only care, about my stocks.
Right.
But he's honest, I think, to his worldview. Mm-hmm. And he's so narcissistic and what he believes something, he wants it to be true. He gets really upset when that clashes with what the world is really like. So he wants COVID-19 not to be very serious. It's just like the flu, everybody get back to work.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it isn't like that. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think we all wish that too, but we're grounded in reality and he's not.
Well, as of this morning, the polling came back. It's a dead heat.
Which one? The national polls?
National poll, yeah. They have Biden and Trump just neck and neck.
I think it's funny how you look at
for as much as you can believe that.
Yeah, because Biden was up by 10 points a week ago.
Right.
So is anything changed? It depends on what poll you look at. And then as we know, Hillary stayed true to the national polls.
Yes.
She was going to win by 3. Well, she did. But she lost because it got to go by states.
Right.
So, I mean, if you go, there's certain states, you look at Oklahoma or whatever, the red states, and, the Republican candidate's going to win by a landslide.
Right.
But you look at California, it could be a different story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could have somebody where it could be really close on the national level and be a landslide because the one, you only win California and one other state. And,
right.
But in terms of the numbers, they're going to be much greater there.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. According to a Newsweek poll, the two are split at 47%. 3% choosing Libertarian Jo Jorgensen, and 3% they were undecided. It was conducted by a Monmouth University, surveyed over 402 voters across Georgia.
Oh, there you go. That's just Georgia. That tends to be
so
it goes either way.
Yeah.
Georgia's usually a red state, but you had Jimmy Carter, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. Very often when you have to look at how they obtain their polling, very often it's telephone.
Yes.
And that really cuts out younger people because younger people don't have landlines.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How are they voting? Because that's what my kid said. He goes, they never call me.
Yeah.
He said he might get something on his phone.
Uh-huh.
He said, no, that's different. Or online. He says, but younger people don't get landline. That's for old people.
Well, the millennials get unsolicited texting. That's how they get them.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they answer it or not, but I hope, I'll just end it here. I hope that whoever it is, if Trump continues, and rolls through his last 4 years, or if Biden comes in, Nevada, Las Vegas, we need a friend on the Hill.
Yeah.
We need a friend in the House. And because after November, I think when we hit fall, I think we're going to see new and bigger difficulties for our town. And we're going to need some help from Washington, D.C., if it's called Washington, D.C. At that point. Did you hear they're trying to change the name of Washington, D.C.?
Oh, because it's
because of Washington. Oh, yeah. No, because of George Washington.
Oh,
yeah. So whatever it's called.
What about Washington State? They're going to change it?
I have no idea. Probably.
I would change it to something that's really unpronounceable.
Yeah. And to go along with the silliness, I don't know why I just stuck in my head. Bob's Big Boy.
Yes.
Grew up with Bob's Big Boy.
Yeah, they used to have one up where and they closed it. I went there once.
They're tearing down the statue, and we're going to go with a girl. It's going to be
Big Chick.
I don't know. I don't know.
Big Bertha.
Something. Or? Bertha's Big Boy. Yeah, Bertha's Big something.
Yeah.
Oh, strange.
Well, Bob's Big Boy. He was
just a kid with overalls.
Yeah, and he had something up on a plate. Yeah.
Now I remember there were some pretty.
Oh, I remember Sambo's.
Right.
Oh, and I remember Sambo's.
And that had not. Remember, and he had a little tiger. Remember, he had a little tiger friend. Oh, I know. We'll leave that for another podcast. Well, John, thank you. This was fun. Come to Vegas. Take our advice, I think, with what type of traveler you are.
Yeah.
Vegas can be fun if you know what you're doing here. Lots of stuff opening now, so I think you can find some great things to do. We still have amazing natural resources around us, so you can enjoy those. So please do come to Vegas, but please come to Vegas informed, especially with the heat. But if you like this episode, hit like for us. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. We'd love to see all the new people come in. Send us email, send us the information through all of our formats and social. But for John, this is Jamie, and we will see you next show.